People who have had friends stab you in the back. What is the story? Made plans to go and see movies with my friends for my 16th birthday and planned it weeks in advance. Everybody billed the day before off, but I decided to still go see the movie. Ran into my whole group of friends leaving the movie theater, buying popcorn. That's brutal. Did you confront them? Yeah, a lot of hemming, hawing, with no real explanation and no apology. Still went to see my movie, Underworld, and learned a valuable lesson about people and friends. Sucked at that time, but eventually that lesson was a great birthday gift. Not immediately, but it did start the process of not showing up for majority of things and only making brief appearances for a month or so. Then got to play D&D and some people from jazz band and never really looked back. Best friend stopped talking to me after my dad died. Took the whole friend group with him. Apparently, I was too emotional. I was 13, having my entire friend group walk away from me when I was in such a shitty place stuck with me forever. This is similar to my experience as well. I lost my father at 9, and all but one of my friends ditched because they didn't know how to deal with a person in grief. I'm still close with a friend that stayed 21 years later. Hope everything is going on well. I never thought this would get so many views. For people's information, I am doing a lot better. In middle school, I met this extrovert who introduced me to most of the good friends I have now in life. At age 30, I've come to terms with both my father's death and the unfortunate events of my youth. Asked 2 of my friends if they wanted to live together in college. Then one of them asked another person in our friend group if he wanted to join in as well. They asked another and another, and once there were too many people for one apartment, they dropped me out of it, no longer friends with them. It was kind of a wake-up call, though, because I definitely gave away too much of myself to those people, not knowing that I was the most expendable one. It really taught me a lesson, to put others on a pedestal and respect myself more, and has since led to me developing far more healthy relationships that bring me a lot of happiness. Several of my housemates decided to move to the West Coast after college. There was one who was planning on going with them, that they didn't want to keep living with. They waited to tell her until after they had driven out over spring break at look at apartment in her car. Pretty gross, and it really messed with her. Glad you are doing better. They told her they got back. My best friend since 4th grade called her soul sister. I genuinely was so grateful to have what I thought was friendship. She fell no hard times, but weirdly religious and stopped working while going to private uni. I was always there for her, shoulder to cry on, visited her all the time because she didn't have any friends. I knew she was lonely, helped her with groceries and rent, helped out her family. One day she came over after buying her groceries. She told me a higher power has been telling her to cut me off for 2 years and she had to listen. Now she wants to be friends again. Isa heard nope from me, dog. To be fair, sounds like mental illness. 1000% agree. I've tried to talk to her about seeking a faith-based therapist, but I had one friend who honestly wasn't my favorite person because she was really manipulative, but I never said anything about that. I found out that she had been shit-talking me to all her mutual friends and telling them that I did horrible things and that I never really did them. Ended up essentially being pushed out of that entire friend group, and it ruined a lot of my high school experience. Village gossips. Personally, I'm just happy I'm not part of that miserable group anymore. As a wise man once said, empty can rattles the most. I had a best friend that I knew for 16 years. She got pregnant and her parents tried to kick her out. Her parents wanted her to get an abortion, but she refused. One of our HS friends told me someone should push her down a flight of staircase so that she can miscarry. I told her that it was a very bad idea and defended my best friend. The next day, the principal came to my class to ask me if I could attend a meeting about something important. If I didn't attend, I was going to be expelled. When I arrived at the meeting, our shared friend claimed I was going to shove my best friend down the flights of the staircase so she can miscarry. My best friend believed her, and we stopped talking after that. My wife said she needed some time for herself, so she went to stay at her mom's for a while. One day, I went to pick up my kids and walked in to one of my best friends having sex. Turns out it had been going on for a while. She knew him before she knew me, which I had no clue about. This kind of blew up, and I can't really reply to every comment question, so I just wanted to add a few things. 1. When I said the affair had been going on for a while, I mean for several months before I found out. This was after my second son was born. I have no doubts as to whether my kids are actually mine or not. 2. Yes, they are now my ex-wife and ex-best friend. 3. This happened nearly 16 years ago. Now, I was in a very dark period of my life, but I am great now. I got 2 great kids out of the relationship. I wouldn't have met my wife if this hadn't happened. Also, I believe I am a stronger person having gone through a whole ordeal. And 4, just know that if you are going through such a thing, which is horrible in your life, and your heart and your mind are broken, there is hope for things to get better. It just takes time. I was worried about that years. But both are teenagers and now clearly resemble myself and their mom. Well, that's nice to hear. Not for a lawyer. There is a reason to do the test at this point. Same situation with one of my boys, had a reason to suspect, but now too much time has passed, and what does it matter? I'm their father no matter what. We, my husband and I had a friend that we helped get back on his feet, paid off some of the tickets we had, got his license reinstated, hooked up with a solid connection for reasonable, well-running car to replace his beater, and gave him a place to live and a job, automotive repairer. He decided it was a better choice to tell all our customers we were overcharging them. Spoiler, we weren't. He'd do the jobs cheaper if they'd bring it to him at his house. This was a short time after he moved out of our house and never repaying anything he owed us. Not that we asked. It broke my heart. Some will take as much as possibly can. He did. Now he stops by occasionally like nothing ever happened. It's been years now, but some shit doesn't heal right. I did not see this coming in the comment, but I'll try to reply to everyone throughout the day. Thank you to everyone for the kind words. I appreciate them. Just to get it out here. I didn't mean to stop by to hang out as friends. I meant he drops by our shop sometimes. We are no longer friends, but hate is like drinking poison, thinking the person will die. I hope you just kick him out of your property. We don't understand. It's not worth the anonymity in our field. It's unfortunate, but ultimately he fucked himself. I booked a table for 6 people to watch sports events at a bar. I tell them so. All 5 friends say okay, we'll be there. No one shows up. And even the decency to call or a text that we are not coming. Similar things happened to me a couple of years back. I hosted a little Halloween party at my friend's for 4, and even though it was a month in the making, all of them flicked. I don't know about you, but they really took the wind out of the sails. And I haven't hosted any get-together since. Sorry that happened to you. This just happens to my 11-year-old little sister, BBBS. I was heartbroken for her. She had a slumber party planned out for 4 friends. She's been talking about it for over a month. Halloween is her favorite, and she had all these cute, not too scary slumber party plans and crafts we made a couple of weeks ahead of the time. That the truth or dares is in one of them, none of them came. They all forgot to tell their parents. I suggested maybe next year she make paper invitations that her friends can give to their parents so they for sure know about it. Turns out that's exactly what she did, and they still fucked it up somehow. Ugh. That's why I make my daughter go to pretty much every birthday she's invited to. I always understand that no one will show up for those parties. That's really nice. Plus, it might encourage her to become closer to friends with kids she might not even have been otherwise. I had one friend. I was bullied by everyone at elementary school. Because my friend will be bullied too when they hang out with me at school. We only played outside of school. One day a popular kid asked to play with me during recess. It was ecstatic. Until after a while, they said, "You are not as bad as your friend said you are." And that's how I learned why I was bullied. So they are making people bully you just so that no one else and play with you after school. What happened when you found out? Friend became friend.